Okay, so, welcome to Akesh. You should... Oh god, I just signed out of Twitch.
Something had to happen. Something always happens.
Yeah, and then I signed into the wrong account. Because I'm good like that. There we go. Well.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Alright, so. You are in Akesh, the hodgepodge desert city on the eastern coastline of a great desert basin. It is mostly notable because of a huge lighthouse in the center of the city, which, rather than broadcasting light, broadcasts a cone of just complete magical darkness wherever it shines its light. Typically, this just rotates about the city during the hottest times of the day, giving each little quarter like a dark period where they can cool down in the middle of the day. But occasionally, if the people in charge decide there's some criminals they want to apprehend, all of a sudden it'll just drop magical darkness on that quarter of the city, and then they'll go and raid the place. It's kind of hard to escape. It's big enough to get like a couple of blocks of the city.
Is it like a 45-degree angle cone, or is it a 90-degree, or is it like a little one, or is it quite wide?
It's quite large. I mean, it'll get like a full block or two of the city. Like a square block, or yeah, those sort of dimensions. Usually there will be like sections of the city, like it'll rotate about in order, so like one day this section will get it, and then the next section over will get it, and then the next section over will get it again. And it just keeps going like that.
How dark is it? Is it like...
Complete magical darkness. Just...
See, that seems like a really dangerous thing to do in the middle of a city. Everyone's going about their business, there's carts, there's people carrying stuff, suddenly dark.
Splat!
Well, each section of the city knows when it's going to happen and when it's their turn. It's for like 3 hours in the very middle of the day, and if the section next to you just got it, you're going to get it. But it's like 120 degrees at that time of the day, so like everyone's just like, yeah, let's just hide in the darkness.
Okay, I'm gonna translate that to something else.
What is the temperature in non-freedom units?
Like 50 Celsius.
Right.
Okay, I
That's
understand.
pretty hot.
Yeah, it's really, really hot.
He's quite right, it's 49.
I have a decent grasp of the conversion.
I mean, if you are gonna use a stupid unit, you might as well know how to convert it to a real one, I guess.
Tolerance.
So yeah. Beyond that, the city itself is incredibly disorganized. It was just kind of like built organically as people showed up and then constructed a house, and then it just sort of like expanded outwards from there. The only notable features that really are in the same place all the time are the docks, the lighthouse, and then the Temple of the Star, which is a giant fossilized starfish that is like encasing the giant skeletal remains of a whale. And that has been converted into like a large temple in the center of the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
My starfish looks like an airplane.
I don't need to see it.
So there's this
That's
giant
just-
starfish on a dead whale.
Yes. The dead fossilized whale. Both are much, much, much larger than any traditional species. So, like, they probably died, like, who knows how many millions of years ago, sort of deal. But besides that, the city is just kind of like a complete mess. There's no real rhyme or reason or order. And people just sort of build wherever there happens to be space or where they can convince people to be gone. So, you all arrived from different places around the region. So, where do you come from? Who wants to go first? Okay. Boom. Cameras.
No, sure. I'll go first.
Yeah.
Also, your stream is just like a picture right now. I don't know if, if that's intentional.
It's just the overlay splash
Okay.
screen. That's what cameras. Is
Well,
that a TV?
Huh?
What the
Hang on a minute.
So, okay. Whatever, you can start. So, like, what do you look like, and, how do you meet this, like, guild master that sort of, like, hired you on? Like, where did you come to the city from? Did you come from the sea? Did you come from land?
I've been hired on.
Well,
For what?
you're all sort of, like, with your backstory, this is the guy you're sort of, like, indebted to. Your
Right.
previous master was indebted to. For everyone else, well, you came to the city, and for whatever reason, you signed on with this group of people. And we'll get to that when we get to you. But where do you actually, like, come into the city from?
I come from, I don't know which direction or anything it is, but
It would be from
like,
the north, but it's either from land or from the sea.
okay, I come from land, from another big city that's at like the edge of the desert, where the desert turns into more of a jungle kind of climate. And that's the city where I grew up. And I've always lived there, but recently I've been traveling out to do other things. I have taken up work as sort of a demon hunter, or not necessarily demons, but like hunter of occult things. And my most recent mission is what has brought me to this city where we are now.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for something here
Okay.
that I need to deal with. And my name is Rachel, as seen in Roll20 also, and I am a tiefling.
Okay. So, about what do you look like? Describe your appearance.
I look pretty much normal human size. I have dark skin, I suppose, but not like brown, more grayish. If that's a color tieflings can have.
Yeah, tieflings don't really have normal human skin colors, really.
Okay. And yeah, I'm like normal human sized, and my clothing is like a hodgepodge mixed together of all sort of different things that I've just found and made because I needed them for whatever purpose. So it's mostly I just put together whatever is useful to me, and I have just bunch of different weapons and trinkets and all sorts of stuff on me at all times that I need.
What kind of horns do you have?
I don't know, like not very big, but kind of just pointing out of my head and then curving a bit backwards.
Okay.
But not
Are
like
they more like
completely curved.
twisty antelope style, or?
No, they're much smaller than that, I think.
More like bull horns, maybe? Well, I mean, yeah, much smaller, but
Yeah.
what do they kind of look like?
Yeah, but also proportionally smaller. I guess. I'll look for an image reference or something. I'll figure that out in a
Well,
second.
what's your tail like? Do you have a tail?
Yeah, sure. Just like a long-ish tail. that's kind of just floppy, hanging down.
Is it more like the traditional devil tail? Is it more like a reptilian sort of dinosaur style tail? Or like maybe like a kangaroo where it's like kind of large and thick? Or
No,
is it more like a monkey tail even?
Just kind of devil tail,
Okay.
but not with like a pointy end or anything. Or I guess the end is pointy, but it's not like an arrow that you have on like cartoon devils.
How long was it?
Just fairly long, like, going down to about my feet, I guess.
Is anyone else's second page of the third page? Oh wait, yeah, third page of the tiefling blank.
Are there 3 pages?
No, it's page 44.
I'm not looking at that PDF anyway.
It's the one that you gave us.
Yeah, I'll check it. Races. Tiefling. Scaling 100%.
Yep. It's blank for me.
Yeah, it's blank, but I'm not sure there was anything there anyway.
Okay.
I can check to make sure, but I think that's just a filler page that showed up somehow. Yeah, that was just a blank image.
I guess this is actually.
Yeah, that was just a page of art that somehow is missing. Anyway.
I've linked a picture of horns in Skype that are pretty close to what I was going for.
Okay. I can't.
Except like smoother. I can link it in Roll20s. That's better.
Kind of goat horns.
Yeah, but that is not the smoother material, I guess.
Yeah, okay. So, coming into the city, you gotta find a way to actually like, make a living. And, the city is completely run by different sort of guilds of merchants and things. And all these people just sort of have to, like, band together, and there's no real governmental structure beyond the fact that, or beyond the different little groups that whoever is most powerful has the most influence at the time. So, you being newcomers, the only real job you can get is with one of these like really low level, down on their luck sort of guilds. And so who was the first person you met that sort of like introduced you to this group of people and was like offering you some work?
Who is being asked this?
Well, you.
Still me?
You're the first one.
Okay. I guess I just kind of know about these things. Like, I come from a kind of underworld kind of setting in my own city. Like, I've always been around, if not working directly with, but then working in close relation to like the criminal underworld. So I know about these different organizations, and one of the guilds I've worked with in my old city also has a section in this new city, and I was directed to a guy from there.
Okay, so who was your contact? Who was the person you met up with?
He's, I guess, not the leader of the guild here, but not completely low ranking either.
What was his name? What did he look like?
I can't come up with names on this spot. George. His name was George.
Here, I'll get you.
Unless
you names if you want.
Yeah, there are surely some names that are better fitting for the city, I guess.
Name
because it's not like an English city, right?
Yeah. Culture-wise, it's sort of a mixture of like Egypt, Middle East, Arabian deal, and India. It's kind of all of those sort of put together. This name generator is not useful. Oh well.
There's a Muslim name generator.
Okay, he's called Argos. Yeah.
How's it spelled?
Argos.
Sure.
Argos. Alright, get them to deliver some furniture for you.
You and your horrible stores. Okay. So, what kind of work were you offering these people?
I was offering them one.
Yeah, like,
I thought
they're taking you on to do some sort
Oh,
of
yeah, yeah.
job. What were you kind of, like, putting forward as the sort of stuff you were interested in doing? Like, what skills were you kind of telling them about?
I deal with problems that they basically don't understand, and then because they don't understand them, can't figure out a good solution to. So
That
basically,
is
they
the
had some
most
sort
vague
of
answer possible.
yeah. So I heard they had a problem with people from their guild disappearing, and they cannot figure out why for the life of them.
Okay.
And I was sent here to help because they had heard that the guild in the other city had people who were actually capable of figuring things like that out.
Okay. So, like, very soon after you got there, the next person you would have come into contact with then is Toma. So, who are you, Toma?
Toma looks like about 25. He's of average height and weight. Has medium black hair and blue eyes.
What kind of clothing are you wearing?
Commoner clothing is what he left with.
Is it like a black cloak? Are you wearing like a kilt? Is it very like
It's,
as nondescript as possible?
It's like generic looking, I don't know. It's like kind of
Are your weapons that you're carrying like prominently displayed, or?
they're not. I have like kind of big sleeves that I can hide my daggers in, and
Don't you have a lot of stuff?
yeah.
Okay. So, your contact in the city, I need to bring that list up again. It's a young looking woman. She's probably maybe 30. But it seems like the skin over one of her arms and like part of her face and like down the and just like covering her whole chest, it's changed to like bark, like a very dark sort of almost black looking tree bark, and it'll actually like flake off as if it's actually real tree bark, and when you like pick up chunks of it, it is pretty much just wood. But she's also like the person in charge of this whole thing, and she's got like pretty short black hair, and her name is, oh god, why can't I find it in this document? Neferi. Nefery. And so you were sent here by your boss. Did he tell you at all what you were going to be doing? Or is this a case of, I owe them a favor, head out there?
It was like that, pretty much.
Okay. So, upon getting there, yeah, she would start telling you about these disappearances, and she's gonna be like, yeah, so we're, like, half of our business is we go out into the wastes, we find some artifacts and things, and then we bring them back and sell them. But lately, a bunch of people have gone missing out there, and we can't find any sign of them, and we're just running out of people. And he introduces you then to Raziel, who just showed up too.
Well,
okay, so probably the rest of you would all be getting here about the same time. So,
Did I tell my backstory or anything?
You can reveal as much as you feel like it.
Mysterious business.
Ooh, mystery. So, Kamsin, you got to the city on your quest. What were you feeling like that you needed to go do that led you into their company?
Well, this is a bit of a vague question.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on my quest, riding my mighty steed Bagdur into the city.
Is it a horse, or is it like a camel, or is it something else?
It's something else.
It's pigeon.
No, sorry, think about the name. You'll get to it eventually. No. Although closer, I suppose. It's not flying. Well, what's the question again?
How do you come into contact with this guild of people and start doing things for them?
Well, the whole point of my quest is to bring justice to the world, kind of thing, and generally be helpful and stuff, and that sort of. I know. Don't do that, Luxberry. I know.
It's smelling an awful lot like a paladin.
A little bit, maybe, but not necessarily lawful.
Paladins in 5e are...
Fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you...
Much more big.
What?
So, you probably overheard a scout coming back and being like, yeah, all the people, they're just missing in the desert, we can't find them. And just, like, complaining and being sad because, like, they lost a friend or something. Then you're
You know
just
what?
like,
I'm sitting here thinking, that sounds like just the sort of thing that I could help out with.
yeah. It would be really convenient if they needed people like you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot about the desert and stuff, and about the various other lands I visited, so I might be able to work out what's going on.
Yeah, so you probably, like, just went up to them then and started chatting about it, and they're just like, yeah, hey, come back to our place.
Yeah,
We'll
definitely.
talk about it. And you see these two sitting there, and their boss with the weird bark skin.
well,
You said druids weren't allowed.
I'm not saying she's a druid.
Might be cursed.
She's clearly got permanent bark skin on.
Yep.
So,
Definitely not a disease.
Maybe she's
Anyway.
just half tree.
Yeah, I mean, she might be. Or maybe like a
Bloody-
quarter tree, since it's
bloody
sort of like
hippies.
seems to be more like a quarter of the body. Her great-grandpa was a treant. Anyway, so you see these two sitting there, tiefling and a human. They're just standing there awkwardly not talking to each other. Do you go up and introduce yourself, or do you just contribute to the awkward silence?
So it's obvious that these people are here for the same reason I am.
They after you talk with like the boss person, they're like, yeah, they just showed up. They sort of
Just showed up.
They're doing some work for us. You should introduce yourself. See what good
Okay,
you are.
I go up to
Enjoy.
them and slap them both on the back. Go, brothers. We shall see justice done.
Hello.
We'll help these good people.
Sure.
So, Wick, how do you come up across these people?
So where are they? It's just kind of like in a room. Are they like in a guild hall then, or something like that?
Well, their base now is really just sort of like a big warehouse that they just sort of converted a corner into like half of a bar and some tables and things, and then the rest of it is just stuff that they'll go out and sell or something, because presumably they have like a stall they set up somewhere almost.
Okay, so I've arrived in the city and kind of just my guild have sent me way down south to meet up with this guy and others in this kind of like forge relations between the guilds of, I can't remember what we called the hometown I come from, and Akesh. I turn up as probably not quite on time, and then again, whose clocks are working these days. And I am just, if there's anyone more average, I've never met him. I am the most average person you could ever imagine. Completely plain. You couldn't pick me out of a crowd. It's like that. So human, just human. Not overly pale, not overly tanned, dark hair, dark eyes, kind of like darkish eyes. Kind of the only thing that really stands out is the fact that I've got a short sword strapped to my back, and a couple of
So
yeah.
I'm gonna say that like when you got here to meet up with like your contacts, you just like showed up and just found bodies. Like there were just like 10 bodies just sitting there. No obvious signs of how they died. You were just like out in, because like they didn't really want to meet up in the city. You just kind of like met up in like some ruined house behind a sand dune outside the city.
Yeah.
And everyone's just dead. No
And
obvious signs of battle, no obvious wounds on them. They're just dead. No signs of what happened. So what did you do after that?
Well, that's where I kind of got this short sword.
Started looting.
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, crap. Let's see what they've got. Ooh, this is quite a nice looking short sword. So that's why I've got it strapped to my back. I've taken because I can't really stick it to my waist because I've got my daggers kind of sheath there. Generally just I'm kind of wearing a loose leather it's leather armor in game terms, but it's kind of like a loose leather kind of like jerkin with padded. I mean, I presume it's quite hot, so I am not enjoying it. I've come from quite cold, so it's kind of like the very concept of having to wear this. So it's kind of like very loosened at any of the seams. Otherwise, I just look completely normal.
Okay.
And there's a sword on my back. So yeah, I turn up into the room.
So,
I see this strange person.
No, you were looting all these guys.
Oh, I've looted the people. I'm not at this place.
Not quite yet. So you were looting all these people.
Yeah, I've just emptied some of their coin purses. Not
and then
all
you
of
just
it.
like see an arrow just like land 3 feet from your face, and then you turn around and it's the scout guy from before. So like he starts asking you like, how'd all these people die? Who are they? Who are you?
I explain that I'm Wit. I've come down from far north. I was meant to meet these people here. Got here, well, done a better job than I could. So I've just been going through and taking what I can.
Yeah. He asks you to turn a couple bodies over so that you can like see their faces. Then he's like, then he just like looks disappointed and like puts his bow down. He's like, well, these aren't the ones I'm looking for. He's like, you want to come back?
Yeah,
Tell
sure.
me about what happened.
Yeah, give me a minute. There's just a couple of bodies over there I haven't rummaged yet.
Yeah. He waits a bit. Then he like takes them back.
Yeah.
And you hear him like give some sad story about how all of his friends are missing to some other guy. Yeah. And then someone walks up and is like, oh, I have a bunch of help I can give you. And then you both get led back. So,
Okay.
you're with the scout guy that Kemson sort of met up with. So, you're meeting up about the same time with the others.
Okay. I just kind of join in the incredibly awkward silence. It sounds fun.
It's a lot of enjoyment in there.
You know, we all don't know each other. We haven't been introduced. So we're sat there. We're clearly all here for the same reason. We're waiting for the person in charge to introduce us. So we're just kind of idly shifting in our seats.
You can tell that it's a lot of fun because someone just says, well, this is a lot of fun.
That way, me.
Meanwhile, I've moved over to another table and just spread a bunch of things out everywhere. And I'm like dawdling around with random artifacts and parts of things and different stuff.
So, Harry, you met up with these group of people before you met up with this guild before anyone else did. And you're already in here.
Okay.
How do you end up meeting up with them? And what are you doing for them?
Well, I guess I've been working as a cartographer for a while, and with my wizard business, I might be helping them with whatever they need help with, I guess.
Okay, so
Just general handyman stuff.
So you're pretty open about the fact that you have magical abilities then?
Yep.
Okay.
It's what I'm here for.
So what are you doing inside their base when all these people come in?
Drawing a detailed map of the city, I guess.
Okay. So when you like go over to a table and just like spread out all your stuff, it's probably like over top of this guy's map.
Okay.
So, describe what you look like, Harry.
I'm like a middle-aged guy with like rough stony skin, and like yellowish brown gemstones for eyes.
Yeah, so
In decent shape,
really
but not
out of
like
place.
super fit. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not like the common human around.
So what's your response when all of a sudden there's just stuff on top of your map?
I was kind of working here.
I'm sorry. I
more
thought
tables.
this was some tablecloth or something. I didn't realize.
Right.
That's my bad. Maybe you can finish this afterwards.
I guess I'm in no hurry.
So civilized.
Okay.
I'm too old for this shit.
Says the guy who's basically just middle-aged.
Yeah. Isn't that the kind of person that usually says that?
Not really. No.
Okay. Well, I'm mature for my age.
Alright. So, just like staring at this awkward silence, the boss is just like shaking her head. And she's like, okay, just...
I'm completely oblivious to the awkward silence, by the way. I'm having a great time.
Are you just like chatting to them without them
Yeah,
responding at all?
Well, I'm just sort of making conversation regardless of whether I'm actually getting any back.
Holding up both sides of the conversation then.
Ah, they're boys, they're shy. One day they will grow into men.
Okay, so...
Where I'm from, they say that those who talk to themselves are insane.
So Neferi comes over.
Very interesting point.
And she's
The
like,
fairy comes over.
Neferi.
The fairy, okay.
Isn't that a Pokemon?
That's Clefairy.
There's not one. Can't think of anything else similar.
My head kept on saying that's wrong.
No. So,
So we're in Elven Bob, right?
no. There is an Elven Bob, though.
There's always an Elven Bob.
Always one somewhere. Anyway, so she comes over and is just like looking at this horribly awkward scene, and she's like, well, if you want to be useful, head out sometime tonight. And so there are these ruins about a day and a half to the west, sort of northwest. If you go along the river for about a day, then go north, you should get to about this little, like, sort of crevasse, and there's some ruins in there that we sent people to check out, but there's no sign of them. We have no idea what happened to them. If you want to be useful, you can go and check that out, and I should have some... I mean, that would be incredibly helpful if you can do something with that. I should have a lot more stuff for you to do further on, but really, until we figure out where the heck all our people went, this is like our only priority.
How many people were there?
The first group we sent was about 8. The second group we sent was 12. We haven't found any sign of either of them.
And now you want 5 people to go because that's smarter than sending more?
Well, I mean, most of them weren't really trained for any sort of fighting all that much, and you guys are already about at least as well armed, and they didn't really have a wizard, and Harry should handle that pretty well. So I figure you guys can probably handle your own, but just be sneaky, figure out what happened, and come back.
This should work well.
I assure you, if it is within our power, we shall find out what's happened.
And we get paid.
Well, I mean, you get their share, because I'm guessing they're probably not coming back alive.
And
So
we shall make
basically-
sure they don't come back dead either.
Yeah,
No,
so
I
we're
can
getting paid
definitely
for
make
20
sure.
people.
20
Right.
people's worth.
That's pretty good. I'm in.
I'm with the tiefling. Right, you are the tiefling, right?
I am.
Oh, that's just his hair.
Candidates, yeah. Maybe making notes here.
That's
Harry is
useful.
bear.
Ah, my first wife was a tiefling.
And
Imagine
they'll
that
sit
won't
there in silence.
Why is she not your wife anymore?
Oh, she is.
She just was a tiefling once.
No, she's still a tiefling.
Your first wife.
Her third husband as well is also a tiefling.
I'm confused now.
This is so strange. So,
So,
go and
how are you guys spending time until it like gets cool and dark out? Then you guys will head out. Because you guys have got like about 5 hours or so to kill.
well, we need to find. Is this a day and a half from here? By foot, or by horse, or by cart, or
By foot.
by foot? I'm about to need to explain something.
Yeah, and travel during the day is generally
Yeah.
not a good idea.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's never wise to travel the desert during the heat of the day. So yeah.
Yeah. So how do you guys just like spend time for like 5 hours or so before you head out?
I'd kind of poke around this warehouse and go see if there's anything that's not nailed down.
I mean, most things aren't nailed down, but they also aren't terribly small either.
Yeah, but if there's anything interesting that I can find.
There's a lot of like weird pottery and statues and stuff of that sort. Large paintings, just like all sorts of art, odds and ends, sort of art style things.
Let's go back to the paintings. Are they kind of in their frames?
Yes, they are in metal, like brass frames. There's like 4 of them or so. One's probably about half a meter by a meter, half meter wide, meter tall. The other ones are pretty large. It seems like they're more designed as like to be tapestries than really paintings.
Mm-hmm.
So like they're probably meter by 2 meters, about that, maybe 2 meters by 2 meters. They're very large, and they're probably more just to cover up wall space than really be interesting paintings.
Okay. I sized them up and they are too big for me to stick in my pocket.
Yeah.
I know where I'm going, but I can't think what the name of it is because it's not a bar.
Is that like a hookah bar or something?
Opium den.
Yeah, something like that.
Basically that, yes.
Yeah, I can't think of the actual name for
I know there's a
what
name
hookah
for it, I
bars are
think.
supposed to be.
I'm going there anyway.
Okay. So yeah, there's
Not
like
overdoing it, but
there's one just down the street.
Okay.
So what does it
So I
look
think
like?
we've all agreed to meet back here in a few hours. Set off.
what were you saying, Scare? I didn't catch the end of that.
Well, I was just describing like what does it look like and how are you spending your time once you're there?
Well, it's got like a roof over it to keep off the sun, but it's quite open otherwise. There's not a lot in the way. There are a few chairs and stuff, but it's mainly like low down furniture and cushions and things. And you can just laze about there and cool down and just chill, basically. There's a bit of music going on, some musicians playing.
Yeah, just nice relaxing little atmosphere.
Yeah.
Okay. Are the other 3 of you just like standing around?
I'm kind of standing next to my map watching Rascal do his thing with his thingamabobs.
I continue to mess around with all sort of different things, completely oblivious to the fact that he wants to have the table back.
So how long do you go on with that before you stop, or like how long do you let him do that before you just like kick him off your table?
Yeah, I'm in a hurry because it seems like they're there for a short term while I've been there for a while, so, and I have nothing like immediate I need to do. I'm just observing, possibly learning.
Okay. Are you just
So-
like watching everyone, Toma, hiding in a corner?
Let's say that I will try to get to know them, at least the ones that are near.
Do you do that like before Kempson and Wick just sort of like disappear?
Okay, wait. Let's go back.
Okay.
I invite them to come with me. So anyone who wants to have come with me can have done that.
Where was this?
It's just like a sort of hookah bar lounge place down the street. It's pretty much just like 6 buildings over or so.
I'll take the offer.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've found nothing of interest.
Okay. Are you familiar with these places already, or is this like completely alien to you?
It's alien to me.
I've never been to something like this before. Don't have them back home. We kind of have drug dens and whorehouses, but nothing quite like this.
This is a lot more
What?
chilled out.
Both
than
of them
that.
rolled into one. It's beautiful.
You're like, it's like a drug den with a whorehouse, but it's clean and there's music. This is nice.
And there's not a high chance of you contracting any diseases whatsoever here.
So what's the fun of that?
No risk, no reward.
Yeah, are you likely to get stabbed?
People
It depends
look
what
a
you
lot
do.
chill. A lot too chill for that.
Yes. You would have to do something pretty bad to get stabbed here.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, if you go there with the intention of being stabbed, I think I'm pretty sure that's something you can make happen. But
That's just a guide to life, really. Go into
Daggers
any
don't kill
situation.
people. Stabbing does.
Okay, so do you just like introduce them to everything, or do you just kind of like trick them into doing things that are like way out of their depth?
I'm not tricking them, I'm just amused. I'm just sitting here watching them being completely inept in this situation, sort of sitting awkwardly on things that aren't chairs, and just looking completely out of place.
Okay.
Surely there's things like cushions and stuff that I could.
Yeah,
that you
there's
can-
plenty of cushions, yeah. There's a few chairs as well, but...
And there are cushions that are cushions for sitting, and there are cushions that are just there to look good as cushions.
Here, have another cushion.
Okay, and of what do we partake? As in, what is there to partake? Alcohol, is that served?
There are
no.
numerous
No,
different...
no.
There are
Come
drinks,
on.
but they aren't alcohol.
Come on, you wouldn't have alcohol here.
But yeah, there's
You-
hookah, like, hookahs everywhere pretty much.
Hookers everywhere. Oh,
There are people with pipes, and they'll kind of like sell you a pipe if you're interested. Different little
Oh,
things you could eat.
I also need to nip out and water Baghdad because, you know.
it's a plant and it needs to grow. Yeah, that deserved it.
Scare's gonna kill you.
Anyway, so this meandering continues for like 5 hours until it's like night. Or at least the sun is just below the horizon, so it's actually cool enough to do things now. So, you guys meet back up. Who's taking point?
I reckon the guy with the map.
Who's going out?
are you back from the other place now?
I mean, yeah, it would probably been like 5 hours or so.
Yeah. I mean, at
We
some
are-
point I noticed the map guy was just watching me, and then I just rapidly packed down everything and sat by myself in another corner of the building, basically.
So I guess I had time to finish my map.
Probably.
Right.
Is this a local map? Or is this a map you're like making from memory of back home, or?
It's of the like the city we're in right now.
Okay.
At least parts of it.
Yeah. It's particularly annoying because like the layout of the city constantly changes because people
Yeah.
just like set up new buildings or take down buildings randomly with no
Yeah.
real rhyme or reason. So
Yeah, that's why I had I was in a hurry with it because it's not much point to it anyway.
constantly have to keep updating. It's really frustrating. Okay. So who's kind of like taking charge of your hodgepodge group of people?
I would agree that the cartographer should be the one leading the way at least. But, I mean, I guess he doesn't have to lead the group in that way. He can just go in front.
Yeah. So there's like a couple different roles. There's the person who's just sort of like looking out for any sort of danger and things, kind of making sure everything stays safe. There's the person that's actually like navigating the party, and then
I
there's a
think that's
person
me.
who's actually making the map.
Oh,
So like
well,
someone can sit down and record like exactly where you're going and what you're seeing, so that later on you will be able to actually know exactly where things are. Because like the
that's
desert's
better.
not really well mapped out, and there's a lot of things out there that people don't really know about. So an up-to-date map is helpful.
Yeah, I guess that's my job then.
Okay, so who wants to
Recording as we go.
who wants to be the navigator and who wants to be the lookout? The relevant
can be
skills
lookout.
are survival and perception.
Oh, perception.
Pretty sure I have neither.
So I mean,
I'll-
you can
I'll
metagame this if you
navigate.
want. So
Yeah,
I have
no,
perception.
not this guy.
I can be the lookout.
I
I have survival, so yeah, I can navigate if you want.
okay, yeah, that works. So I'm going to need you to roll
Mhm.
2d6 2 times as you're heading out from the city. And actually a third time also. Okay.
we're dead.
No, only
all
Kempson
dead.
had to roll.
We do not see the tornado hit us.
No. It's fine. Yeah. It's just like pleasant
Well,
nighttime walk through the desert. The moon is almost full. It's pretty cool out this time of night. It's just pretty pleasant. You hear animals in the river, but nothing's really bothering you. Continues on like this for pretty much like 4 hours until the like first quarter of your. So like you break things down into like 4-hour watches basically. It's like the first 4 you'd go for like 4 hours, then take a break, then go for 4 hours, then take a break, then go for about and then you'd basically be done for the day. Because about
That's
12
kind of-
hours of travel and work is pretty good. So
And
your
then-
first 4 hours, they're pretty pleasant, pretty nice, but you're pretty near the city too, so you weren't really expecting anything to happen. And nothing really happens. I mean, it's just rolling desert hills alongside a river, pretty much. Alongside the
Desert.
river, there's lots of like plant life and things, but I mean, it's still in a desert region, so while it's lush, it's still
We're
warm.
following the river.
Yeah, you're
So
following
kind
the
of
river
like-
for about a day, and then another half day north from there.
So like the Nile sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically like the Nile River, except it's saltwater and it's flowing inland from the ocean. Weird.
So it's more of an inlet than a river.
Yeah, but it's also, like, actually very clearly a river, so it's very strange. So-
I regale them during this time with tales of my wives and husbands and their husbands and wives.
I'm
Something weird.
completely lost at this point about who's related to who and what. It's just like back home, it's so much simpler. You just made anything pregnant. You just made anything you came across pregnant. It's so much easier.
So are any of you, like, quizzing him about it? Trying to figure out, like, what the heck this actually is going on?
I am most-
not, but they don't say it.
I am most definitely studying the mannerisms and the stories.
So do you guys just sit there in stunned silence, like, the entire time?
I'm like wondering whether he's lying.
Do you do you like try and like quiz him to get at the root of that?
Sure.
Go, talk. Role play the conversation.
Game too hard.
Would you like to ask?
You don't get to get out of it with a roll.
Desperately looking up the stat for awkward conversation.
Awkward conversation roll.
Charisma save.
roll. Yeah. This will do it. Awkward conversation roll. 17. Yes.
Is that you attempting to make the conversation more awkward, or trying to make it less awkward?
Oh, I'll go and make it more awkward. This is fun.
Okay. So, what are you doing to make the conversation even more awkward?
It's
Basically,
pretty
I'm
easy.
encouraging all of the stories that Kamzin is telling, and kind of asking like pointed questions to kind of get him to be more exaggerating, more than just kind of blowing everything out of proportion, just more and more. So everyone else is just kind of being that little bit more like, what the fuck is going on around here, sort of thing.
Encouraging them to share like even more uncomfortable personal details.
Yep.
Okay.
Also, just yelling out awkward usually does a pretty good job at making conversation. Also,
That's your contribution.
no. Trying not to look at any of the people talking, just kind of minding my own business.
Why did I agree to this? How did I get roped into this?
Yeah.
What is going on here? Okay. So the 4 hours pass by in half stunned silence and half soliloquies about past partners.
And current and
I haven't
future.
even got onto my children yet. Oh.
Please don't.
Okay, so those 4 hours go by pretty uneventfully. You stop for a break, eat some snacks, drink some water. Can you do your rolls again? Kamson.
3 times.
Yeah, 2d6 3 times. Ooh.
Might not be all dead.
We're only wrecked, we're not dead.
We might yet survive.
And what was the last one?
7.
Okay, so does your conversation topic change after your short break when you resume your journey?
Only if they've changed it, because I've got way more to say about this. I could talk for years about